Hey guys, Sure Midget here. So I typically do airsoft videos or firearms. I'm not really big into knives, but I figured I'd go ahead and throw a video out there of one of these. I know there's a couple decent amount of videos on these knives, but I figure I'd just give my take on them. So I did some research and I couldn't find out how long switchblades have been legal in my state. So constitutional carry just passed in 2021, and that basically legalized the concealed carry of like switchblades, um, any type of knife, billy club, sandbags, brass knuckles, basically any defense weapon type of deal is allowed to be carried now. Now I didn't know if, in a lot of states they're legal to own but not to carry. Like it, and as an example, like in Florida, you're allowed to own them, and you're only allowed to carry a switchblade if you have a concealed carry permit. A lot of states are like that. Now, like California, it has to be 2 inches or less for a out the front automatic knife. One of the states is 1.5 inches. I think that was Connecticut. Like Massachusetts, they're completely illegal from what I've heard, except for like law enforcement and military. Illinois, I believe they're completely illegal. New York, they're completely illegal. I think New Jersey, you can own it, but you can't carry it. Like, you can possess it. Some of the states are kind of ambiguous. And of course, that kind of goes on party lines. The blue states restrict your gun rights and the knives you can carry. So that kind of goes without saying, unfortunately. This is the box that it comes in. It's just cardboard. It will also come in a pouch. These are pretty cheap. It's like the pouches probably cost $1 for them to make. And the knife is going to be wrapped in plastic. Now, I do have multiple of these, and I will show you them. I've got some over here. This one right here is my brother's. I haven't given it to him yet, but I bought it for his birthday. He'll be back from Texas in a couple of days. So I bought it for him, so I'll give it to him then. His room is painted orange, so I figured he would like orange, so that's the one I went with. I have two of them over here. So this one I keep in my car. It's brand new. It is gray, like a dark gray. I've only actuated this maybe 20 or 30 times, so this one is strictly for my car, so I don't, scratch that one up or anything. And then this blue one is what I carry to work every day. So for the pouch, it does look like it has a belt loop, but I wouldn't use this. This would be like an open carry thing, and I just do not like open carry firearms or knives. Like, why would you advertise that you have it unless you're in a comfortable place like your own home or a friend's house, or you know what I mean? Then you can have it visible. But if you're like out in public and just random places, I don't see why you want your gun visible or your knife. So these are the Lightning Elite. So I know they have the original Lightning version, which is made in Taiwan. These are made in China. I actually have one of the original Lightnings on its way to me, but this is just a video on the Lightning Elite. They're typically about the same price. Sometimes they're a little more. These were 30 bucks, and I actually paid 30 bucks for the original Lightning as well. I don't know if the original Lightning is better in terms of quality control because they're from Taiwan. China, is typically seen as cheaper. But overall, these are pretty good knives. So the screws are a T6 for the, it's not hex, Torx. So do yourself a favor. This was like 15 bucks. And because you'll need that. So I'll just talk about the features about the knife real quick, and then I'll get into the, cons. So it does have a pocket clip, so that's mainly how people are going to carry it. I put it in my back pocket, and it, stays, clipped to your pants. Just that's the easiest way to carry it rather than this crap. Now, as you can see, it is kind of two-toned. So on the silver blade version, it's got the silver, latch or the lever, and then the pocket clip, and then here you have the black. So if you do get the silver, I'm pretty sure they all come silver two-toned. They make a couple of different blades. So this is the Tonto, I believe is how it's pronounced. So it's kind of like, an edge to it, almost like a samurai kind of thing. I think Tonto's it's like Japanese or whatever. They also have a drop point, which is more of like a oval or a circle. Like it's, not as squared off. This look I really like. And then I like the double bladed as well. So this is sharp on both sides, and this is the two-tone. I don't think they make a silver in the double-bladed. You'll have to look. They make a bunch of different colors on the handles, like 15 to 20 different colors for handles. But, you know, and then I think they have 3 different blades. Again, the double-sided, the Tonto, and then the drop point. But they may come in different colors. Like this may come in black. I don't think so, though, but it might. Don't quote me on that. If you want one of these knives, go on Perry. I think it's Perry Knife Works. They're actually out of Massachusetts, which is funny. You know, they're not legal there. At least I don't think. It didn't look like it was, or at least not to carry. But I don't think they're legal there at all. But they sell them. They ship them out of that state. So I'd recommend going there. They're $30 on there, and it's a good website. They ship real quick. So I've seen some comparison videos on YouTube talking about the internals compared to the original Lightning. From what I've seen, the difference really is the fact that this uses a 1-spring system, which is more like, you know, the Microtex, the expensive switchblades. Whereas the Taiwanese-made one has 2 different springs side by side, and they kind of twang when you actuate it. Whereas these are a lot smoother. It's just not as loud, and doesn't have a springy noise. So now I'm going to get into the cons. The biggest cons, there's 2 of them. The paint. The paint is really, really bad in terms of both of them, all of them. The paint is super cheap. It flakes off, and it's obviously painted. So they paint these, and then they toss them together. The paint is just crappy. Now, that's not too big of a deal because you can take it apart, you can refinish it, or you just don't worry about scratches. Now, I'm kind of a perfectionist a little bit, so when I first got a scratch on here, I was all mad. But, you know, then there's a bunch more scratches. So it's just going to happen, especially one that you take to work every day. Yeah, you just got to get used to it. So I did, and you know, I'm cool with it now. Even this one hasn't seen much use at all, any use, because the one I got from my brother, I've just messed around with it at the house here, and it's got a scratch here, and this one actually came on it. There's a small scratch here. That was on there when I bought the knife, like pulled it out of the plastic package. So yeah, the paint just chips super, super easy. It's not even funny. The other con is the fact that the screws come loose. So pretty much all of these, the screws were loose out of the box. Now, that's why I say get this kit. Do yourself a favor. So I tightened these and then Loctited them because this is the one I keep in my car. I kind of just want to leave it and forget about it. These I did not Loctite, but I tightened them down pretty much as hard as they could go. You don't want to strip it, of course, but pretty much as hard as you can get it. All of them were loose, pretty much every single one of them. So like I got like a full turn, if not 2 full turns, probably about a full turn on most of the screws. So you want to do that full turn, just get it nice and tight without cranking it down too hard. Or, you know, you can put some Loctite on there. I didn't put Loctite on these. You might just want to check it like every month or so. I will, you know, put that bit in the screwdriver and check with this one because I, you know, will use it every day. For me, I work in HVAC, so I do a lot of cutting. For the longest time, I was using a almost like a razor blade, like a box cutter, rather. And the blade is like this long, and they're replaceable, of course. But for instance, this is just a bad knife for what I do at work. But I've just dealt with it for like 4 years until getting this. Some of the guys that I work with do carry like, you know, a regular knife like this. Not a switchblade though. But what would happen is, like, for instance, on a copper tubing, like a line set for an air conditioner, there's foam on the outside of the copper. And so I was going to cut, you know, the foam, trying to make it nice and even around so I can separate it. And basically the blade was so short that the end of the actual like knife itself would just rip. Like when I try to go around it, it just really awful to have one of those box cutter type knives. They're just stupid. So I finally was like, you know what, I'm getting a switchblade. I kind of started watching some YouTube videos on knives and was like, maybe I'll get one. And, you know, looked up, and my state did legalize the carry of these when constitutional carry passed. I don't really care what's legal and what's not. You know, I was carrying long before constitutional carry was passed. You know, just because it's a law doesn't mean it's, you know, just. That's just, I'll just leave it at that. But, you know, it's nice to know, peace of mind, that I can't get in trouble for carrying this or a handgun anymore. Pretty smooth on the actuation. Sometimes they do fail to deploy, and then you just have to pull it out all the way and it locks. not too big of a deal, but it's kind of far and few between that happens. As you can see, just doing it there, it's pretty consistent. I'd say maybe it fails on the actuation once every 50 actuations, so not too bad. It's, you know, what do you expect for 30 bucks, right? That's why I say just get 2 of them. They're cheap enough that you can, you know, have fun with them, and, you know, it's like 65 bucks for 2 of them for both of these, 65 bucks with shipping. So not a whole lot of money to invest into a couple of switchblades. So here's a close-up. As you can see, scratches all over it. It is what it is. I've been carrying this at work for a solid month. I also recommend getting a knife sharpener. I mean, you know, sharpen it once a week. You know, I use this thing at work like 4 or 5, 6 days a week. Just depends on what time of year. If I work 4 or 6 days a week. In the summer, it's normally 6. But it's worked for me. You just want to sharpen it every now and again. And then this one here. This one, I would say, I feel like it's a little bit sharper, but it might just because it's, you know, stainless colored. They are 440C steel, so they're kind of a cheaper steel. But, you know, you can just, that's why I say get a sharpener and just sharpen it. You can get, you know, one of those. I don't have it in here with me, but a manual one, you just hold it and then you just run it through it, you know, 3, 4, 5 times. And then, you know, you do that once a week. And just to keep the, you know, blade nice and sharp. Again, this one is for my brother, and this one's mine. So I think that's pretty much it for the video. I don't think I have anything else to mention about these knives. Of course, like I said, I'm not an expert on knives whatsoever, but these are just really awesome. Thought I would put a video out just in case my subscribers are interested in getting one of these. They're cool knives. Definitely something I think everybody should own. Everybody of age, you're 18 or 21 or whatever, you're above that age. You know, you can own a regular knife. You should have one of these. Definitely utilitarian. And, you know, a lot of people used to look at these as weapons because, oh, they're automatic. But it just makes sense because my hand could be preoccupied with something else, and I can pull this out of my pocket and just, you know what I mean? There's no flipping it open, and it's just one button, just actuated with your thumb, and it just makes so much sense. Some people call them a novelty, but honestly, it's not. It's very utilitarian, and, you know, just whip it out and cut what you need and then put it back in your pocket. Super easy. Love them. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.